is not B98.5. This is just a musical introduction for our next guest. Please welcome Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa.
Hello, good morning.
Hey.
The song bringing back some memories?
Yes, I'm having flashbacks.
Who's the boss?
Do you, will you sit and watch an episode of that if you catch it on the cable?
Yeah, what's really weird is I'll sit and watch an episode of that and not remember ever having done
Really?
that episode.
Really?
Yeah, because how much do you remember from when you were 11?
Well, if I was on a
TV
sitcom,
show,
I might
yeah.
remember some
I know,
of it.
but that's all relative.
When you were doing that back when you were, 11, 12 years old, how your mom drops you off at the TV studio at 7 in the morning and you hang out all day and she picks you up? That had to be weird to think back to those days.
Yeah, it was weird. I actually had a guardian on the set, so...
Now, how does that work? Is that kind of, you hear about how the kids are still taught on the set and they have to have by law a teacher, but, do you think the same education as if you were in school?
I think for me, I actually got a better education.
Yeah, maybe better because you're
because
focused.
I never did well in a classroom environment. I'm dyslexic, so I was able to work with the tutor on my own sort of pace, and I think it made a huge difference for me. And it was sort of better, I think, for me. Although I missed out on all the social aspects of going to a regular school, but.
Yeah.
I think education-wise, I got a better education.
Well, the little girl, Alyssa Milano, is very nice and very sweet, but it's the grown-up Alyssa Milano that I personally am more interested in, to be perfectly honest. Because, one of the things, it always seems like child actors a lot of times have a tough time breaking out of that child mold and being taken seriously as a woman or as a guy, but you have done it in fine form, and in spades. You really... a lot of the stuff we've seen you in have been like very suggestive poses, and you've done some very nice...
Candies ads.
You've done some very nice
ads
for candies or some nice magazine covers, a lot of very sexy stuff. Did you find that you had to do this stuff to really shatter the little girl image?
I think it's sort of... Subconsciously, I think I was definitely doing that towards, in the beginning, when I was like 19, 20.
Like, what can I do to make sure people still don't think I'm a little girl?
Yeah, or sort of shed some light on different aspects of who I am as a person.
Right.
And what I'm capable of. And, but I don't think it was a conscious, I don't think at 19 I was like, okay, what can I do to be taken seriously as an adult, I just think it sort of, and people were so into showing me off in that other light because, they were into shattering those images because, the public had just seen me as this sort of pure and innocent girl next door, so...
It was kind of ironic that you spearheaded the whole internet crusade, last year, with all the, the celebrity nude photos that are mocked up and stuff, when you don't have to search too far to find a naked photo of you.
I know. Well, that's why I did it, was because my little brother went on the internet and typed in my name and found porn sites.
Whatever happened with that, Alyssa?
We had 15 lawsuits. We settled all of them out of court, and one actually went to court, and we had a large settlement, and we took that and all the money that we made from the lawsuits and started a search engine called safesearching.com. And it's a search engine with no porn links.
So the problem was the ones where they took your head and superimposed it on some other body?
No, the problem was even the real ones. I just had a hard time with people making $30,000 a month off my naked body.
That much?
Yeah.
How much would you charge me to make money off your naked body? That's my question. No.
There's kind of a distant tie-in, Alyssa, shifting gears, at your husband, who, of course, is in the band Remy Zero, singer. One of the guys in the band, Jeff, used to be our intern here.
Really?
At this station, not, 3 years ago, Leslie?
Mm-hmm. Jeff Thompson calls himself Kane. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah, I love Jeff. Jeff's awesome.
He's a great guy. We've known each other for many years now.
He is great. He was answering the phones here when I first got here.
You had mentioned off the air, too, that when you came to Atlanta, when Remy Zero played the Roxy and they did a Live X and they did an in-store at Tower, that was the first time you'd been on the road with the band. What was that like?
It was really scary.
What was scary?
Well, the whole, like, you can't put solids in the toilet bowl on the bus.
Oh, really?
There are so many rules.
You got to pull over for number 2, huh?
Exactly.
How would you like to bump into Alyssa Milano at a rest stop area out in the middle of Nebraska in, like, the ladies' room? Man.
How many days were you on a tour bus?
I was on for 4 days.
You're like, yeah.
Where did you guys meet? How did you guys come together?
We met at a mutual friend's party.
You just met at a party. How long after that did you get married?
10 months.
Wow, quickly.
Yes.
And then it seems weird because he's always on the road, so how...
We've been together like 2 weeks in the last year and a half.
Have you always been attracted to musician types? Like when you were growing up, did you always go after the bad boys?
Yeah, well, my dad was a musician.
Oh, really? Was he,
Yeah.
was he in a band that we'd know?
He was in a band in the 60s called Sleepy Hollow. And now he's a music editor for films.
Okay.
And so I was just always, I was raised in a house filled with music. And my dad, playing the piano and the guitar. And so that's sort of what I related good men to.
So what do you do to kill time with no husband around? You got the big house there in Hollywood hanging out with no husband, just a bunch of dogs?
I work a lot.
Right.
You've got a bunch of dogs, right?
I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 7 birds, and 3 horses.
Oh my
7
gosh.
birds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be the noisiest home.
It's really noisy.
No kidding.
7
Chirping
birds.
and barking.
You ever talk to somebody on the phone who's got birds in their house?
Yes.
It's like
It's piercing.
background. It's crazy. So let's talk about the show first of all.
Okay.
Charmed. All right. Is this the first season, second season?
This is our second season.
Second season.
On the WB.
On the WB, we've moved to Thursday nights at 9 o'clock.
And you're enjoying yourself?
I'm having a great time, yeah. It's really fun. There's, it's 3 girls, and there's a lot of estrogen on set. We just giggle a lot and have fun.
You and Shannon Doherty get along offset?
Yes.
She seems like a cool chick.
She is really cool.
She seems like one of those girls you want to hang out with a lot.
She's very cool, yeah.
She, I hear she's just kind of calmed down a bit
Recently.
because the stories that used to come out of 90210 were not flattering of her, but recently we hear that things are a little more manageable.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know her then, so I can't really respond to that. But I just decided before I started the show that I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt because I had heard the stories too, and I would want someone to give me the benefit of the doubt if
Sure.
stories about me, and she's just really cool.
Did you ever go through a period where you were a total spoiled brat, a total Hollywood brat, and somebody
My parents would have kicked my butt.
Well, I mean, did you go through a period and maybe your parents sat you down and say, okay, we need to have a talk because this behavior is not acceptable?
No.
You didn't get that attitude like, I can do what I want.
When I was 19, I went to my parents' house, and my parents said to me, I don't know, I said some sort of wisecrack remark, and my parents said, go to your room. I was 19 years old, and I went. It wasn't even my room anymore.
Really?
You just found a room. What's with the nickname Conan? Where did you get that?
Because when I was little, because I took ballet, I've had muscles in my arms almost my whole life.
Calling you Conan just doesn't seem to fit.
I know.
Conan Milano.
Right.
Now, we're talking to Alyssa Milano. Do you have any upcoming movies that we might be able to see you in?
I'm actually about to start a movie called Buying the Cow that I have a small part in that should be released probably this summer.
Now, is that your goal would be to shoot a movie during the summer hiatus, or maybe just be on? I'm guessing you don't want to travel on the road with Remy Zero.
No. I would like to. Yeah, I think I'd like to work this hiatus, but we still have until May, and I might be too tired at that point. So I'm just going to play it by ear and see what happens. What's
the worst part about doing a TV show? I mean, what is the hardest part?
Probably the hours.
I was going to say, do you start real early?
We get in at like 6:30 in the morning, and we shoot anywhere between 12 to 14 hours a day.
That is brutal. People think you just cakewalk in and do an hour.
It's a long day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
The best of the Morning X. 99X.